Minister, your very well put together presentation, you mentioned the $1.1 billion that was paid out to civil servants, or that's part of your budget. And as a member of the business community, it's always intrigued us during that COVID period, where I believe the education sector is one of the largest, sectors within the civil service. And, in the business community, people laid off staff. People were just laid off, or in our case we didn't, but most businesses and companies did. The teachers didn't come to work for 8 months, and they received the full salary. And we find it hard to understand how your government justifies that when they were able to stay home, they can do gardening, do other little jobs, at least maybe a 30% cut in their wages. I mean, of course, nobody wants to see wages cut, but that's taxes that the business community is paying and everybody's paying for non-productive employees. I'm just wondering how that was justified.
Yeah, those issues have been raised with us too. If you talk to the Fiji Teachers Union and Fijian Teachers Association, they'll have a different take on that. There were some teachers also, though, who, even though they weren't teaching, were helping out with the COVID response. There were some civil servants, of course, who worked in other ministries. They weren't engaged by Ministry of Health, but they actually were helping out Ministry of Health. For example, drivers were taken in from different ministries. At one point in time, some of the teachers were actually helping out with the digitalization process, the record keeping, not all of them. But yes, it is a bit of a give and take. At the same time, there are doctors and nurses who were working overtime. They were being paid overtime. So they're working, on top of everything else, a lot more than they were being paid for, frankly, in terms of overtime. Doctors don't get paid overtime normally in any case, but people do get time in lieu of the work that they did do. But those who normally used to get paid overtime did not get paid overtime. Sometimes there are people, of course, who do benefit from the system because the overall good, is applicable to a higher percentage of people. In the same way, the example I gave about the 360, we always build in a 10% to 15% risk factor. So at least if 85 to 90% of the people put the 360 to good use, you know that your policy objective has been met. You will get a few percent, doing naughty things. This is one of the things we do say. The other day we were at a consultation in Nasinu, where two teachers stood up and said, thanks government for all of this. Our pay was maintained, so we were able to help other family members. And we said, well, okay, you did not say that you're a teacher. We know you did not teach for about 6 months, so we hope that you work really hard this time around. It's a bit of give and take.